first to Chris McCoskey from the Detroit News.
Well, Case, now that that's kind of out of the way, what were your feelings? You looked from the outside calm and like you didn't seem overwhelmed by anything. Was there more roiling up inside of you?
No, I don't think so. I think that was one of my goals going into it, is just to be really calm and enjoy myself. And I'm not going to lie to you, I had a blast out there. It's tough that, I couldn't have a shutdown inning after, Candy's big homer and we ended up losing the game. That's obviously very tough. And, that's not what I want for this team. But I honestly, I was very happy with how I was able to compose myself. And that's the most fun I've had playing baseball ever. So I had a blast, and I was definitely glad that I could stay calm and stay focused.
Was there anything about your pitches that you were battling? Because it didn't look like it. Obviously, maybe later on, maybe in that fifth inning, things were staying up on you a little bit. But
yeah, the cutter honestly was really not doing what it was designed to do. I think it was kind of just spinning, and they took it a lot. It's like it was just kind of spinning and backing up a little bit at the top of the zone, but honestly, they weren't really hitting it. So. It's kind of a weird thing where like it wasn't doing what I wanted it to, but they also weren't hitting it. And then the splitter, I was really commanding that really well and getting what I wanted out of that. And then the fifth came around and, left one up to Collins. I think he swings through that if I locate it down and if I bury that like I had been doing all game. And I think that probably completely changes the inning. So I really hate that I left that up to him. To Moncada, it was a 3-2 splitter. So looking back, hindsight 2020, there's a base open. I probably should have taken my chances and buried that one as well. But I really didn't want to walk him. So honestly, tried to throw it for a strike, and I did, but he ended up, hitting it and driving a run. But like I said, hindsight 2020, I wish I could have buried both of those. And I think the innings, a lot different.
Great. Congratulations, Case.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Next question comes from Brad Galley from Channel 7.
Casey, you've said that this was your lifelong goal, your only goal, to put that uniform on. Was there a moment where you sat down in your locker where you kind of looked and reflected before you left for the field today?
Honestly, man, I really try to normalize everything as much as I could. I try to, stick to my routine, my pregame routine, and just try to stay focused. So I think the time for reflection will be, tonight, tomorrow when I come back to the field and get prepared for next start, because now I'm right in the middle of this thing, and it's what I'm going to be required to do on a daily basis, and it's everything I ever dreamed of. So I think the time for reflection for me is going to be tonight or tomorrow, but before the game I really just tried to stay focused on the task at hand, which is trying to win a ball game. Good stuff, man. You're a pro. Congrats.
Thanks, Brad. Our next question comes from Cody Stavenhagen from The Athletic.
Hey, Casey, you mentioned the splitter feeling good. You got a big strikeout, I think, to Tim Anderson on the splitter. Obviously, he's been red hot. Up until that fifth inning, how confident were you in the splitter?
Very confident. Even in the fifth, I was very confident with it. It's just I think I executed with it for the most part, except for Collins. I definitely feel like I should have buried that to Collins. But like I said, even to Moncada, I tried to throw it for a strike, and I did. I executed my plan. I think my plan was wrong. But I was very, very confident with the splitter, from, the first inning. I actually did spike a couple, but I ended up getting a strikeout on that in the first. And so I was really happy with the splitter tonight.
For sure. After your outing, kind of what were your talks like with Rick Anderson and just what you're thinking kind of there on the bench?
Yeah, just basically what I just said, just how execution was there for the most part. Just the plan might have been wrong especially Moncada. I'm going back to that because it's eating me up. But to him for sure. And then we were just talking about how we need to refine the cutter in this week's bullpen and just get that doing what I really needed. I threw some good ones. I had some strikeouts on him, but there were a lot that were really backing up and just staying over the middle of the plate. And so we have to, fix that. And so that's kind of what the conversation was, and just how we're going to learn from this and prepare for next start this week.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate it, Casey.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Cody. Our next question comes from Jeff Seidel from the Detroit Free Press.
Congratulations. You said it was so much fun. What made it so much fun for you?
It's just I was really thankful for the opportunity to be back out there and just try to compete for something. It's been a long time since I've been able to do that, and it's also just where I wanted to compete at the highest level, since I was a kid. So all those things, it just made it so much fun. And, pitching well early on just obviously helped that. So I really did have a blast, and I, competed my tail off, and, obviously not happy with the total outcome, but I did some things really well tonight that I'm going to build on and continue to do for the rest of the year.
It's hard to read your emotion after the game, or after you were done and you were sitting on the bench. What was your emotion at that? It almost looked like you were mad that you didn't get to the 6, or I don't want to put words in your mouth. What was the emotion right after you came out?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I mean, like I said, I had so much fun, and it's, it's everything I've ever dreamed of. But obviously, like, I wish I could have done more for my team, especially after, like I said, after Candy's big homer, like, as a starting pitcher, I have to go out there and get a shutdown inning, and I didn't do that. So definitely frustrated with that. So it's just combating, like, so frustrated, but, really happy to be where I am. So it's honestly like weird emotions, but, it was wild. I mean, it's just a weird thing to navigate, honestly.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Our next question comes from Evan Petzold of the Detroit Free Press.
Hey, Casey, saw you sitting over there or standing over there with Scooball and Matt Boyd. What are those conversations like with those guys? And obviously, having one who's been here for a little bit now, and then one who's just coming up with you. What's the value in being able to have those conversations just in different ways? And, kind of what all are those conversations about?
Yeah, very valuable. I mean, I've grown to respect experience a lot. I think I learned that in college, where just the people who've been there, done that, deserve a lot of respect. And so obviously I'm going to get that from Boyd. And then, what Tarek can bring to the table for me is he just see me more often. He mentioned to Moncada through the splitter that he hit, and Scoob said, I honestly thought you were really going to throw a cutter there. That's, the one pitch where I thought, I got that one wrong. And so that makes me think, would that have been a better option? Because, potentially Scooble has seen me execute that pitch in a similar scenario in the past. And so I can benefit from both of those guys, the experience of Boyd at this level, and the experience from Scooble having been around me so much and kind of learning me. And so we were kind of just going through some sequencing things and just trying to learn from those guys.
For sure. Thanks a ton.
Evan, we'll take 2 more. First, we'll go to Jason Beck from MLB.com.
Yeah, hi Casey. Congrats on the strong outing. I'm sure some people watching this will call it an old school SEC pitching duel. Was there anything about what Dunning was able to do that kind of added to the intensity of that game for you?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously had a very good start, and he was pretty efficient, and we were kind of getting back out there pretty quick with each other. And so I think that helps the flow of a game. And that helps us stay in our rhythm. So it was cool. I never played against him in college, but obviously I know who he is, and I watched him a bunch back when he was at Florida. So he had a very good night tonight. So it was kind of cool to go back and forth with each other.
And second inning, it looked like you were at risk of being in a little bit of trouble there, and you got that out at third. What did you hear on that play, and how big of an out was that to kind of take some traffic off and let you relax?
Yeah, it was a huge play. Honestly, it took a big bounce, and I was waiting because, I obviously knew the runner was at second base, and I was waiting to kind of hear my directions on, if he's out stuck in between second and third, or if I should throw the ball to first. And so kind of was just like listening and waiting a bit, and they finally told me 3-3-3, and so I got it over there, and Isaac Isak put the tag on him, so that definitely changed the inning for sure. So that was a huge out.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. And we'll finally go to Bob Wojnowski of the Detroit News.
Hey, Casey, before the game, you certainly expressed that you were ready for this. Tigers expressed that they thought you were ready for this. So now that you went through it, was there anything that you experienced that you didn't expect? Anything catch you by surprise in your first outing?
I don't think so. I still firmly believe that I'm ready for this level. Like I said, I did a lot of things well tonight, and I was very comfortable out there and very, very collected. And I really feel like I belong. And the feedback that I got from coaches and teammates, I think would reflect that as well. So there just wasn't really a moment where I felt like I'm overmatched, or, I'm kind of in the wrong place. So I did feel comfortable, and, I do feel like I belong.
Thank you.
Thanks, Woj.